Hello guys and welcome to my new video. This video is going to be about beating intermediate mode with the least amount of towers. We are going to be using military base and scout. Try get onto a map of abandoned city because it is going to be the best map for this as it is the longest map in the game. So your military bases will have the most amount of time to spawn and you will have some good placements for your scout. You will start off by placing your military bases over here. James over here. So you're going to start placing off your military bases over here. And you're not going to click ready until both your military bases have spawned. So you're just going to have to wait until your military bases have spawned. James, can you upgrade your military base? Upgrade.
I can't.
Yeah, you can. 200.
No, it's because you have VIP. You
No.
get an additional.
It's
100.
because I joined the group. Guys, remember to join the groups when you get an extra 100 starting cash.
Yeah, I can't. I still need to get mechanics. One vehicle is enough. One vehicle is enough.
Okay, so one vehicle should be enough, but you guys should join the Paradoxim's game group, so then you can get an extra 300 starting cash. Okay, so now my Humvee and my friend's Humvee are gonna be, because they spawned before the round started, they're gonna respawn at the back of the map, which gives us extra time. That means we're not gonna be skipping the way because it's not worth it. We want extra bonus cash. So we're gonna place down the first military base, get to level 1, and then you're gonna get down the second one because it's better than upgrade. So you're gonna get 5 military bases, level 1. So then you can get some decent damage. So let me just quickly do that with my friend over here. And make sure that if beach balls are spawning for you, pick them up because you want some free things. I am using the American skin for the military base, but it does do no extra damage, no nothing. It's just a cosmetic, okay? So do not worry about having a cosmetic. My friend has the normal military base and it does the exact same thing as mine. But make sure that at the beginning of the match, please remember to place down the military bases and do not start them and do not start playing until one military base has spawned. Okay? I cannot stress that enough. This is crucial to this strategy, okay? If my friend has anything to say and you cannot hear him very well, I will say it louder. You do not want to be getting trapped underneath the map on any server. Samson, that is going to be my 5th military base, so on wave safety you guys should have 5 military bases. And roughly 300 cash left over. I started with an extra 42 because I bought the bonuses, but I don't think that will make much of a difference. Now you want to upgrade your military bases to level 3 one by one, because it would be able to do more damage than before, as it would not have to ram into the enemy because it also shoots from a distance, which would be crucial for the early game when the tanks spawn. So on wave 7 you should be getting your first military base, level 3. On wave 8 you should have one, and then on wave 8 you should have another military base on level 2, getting prepared to go to level 3. And James, you're meant to be getting your upgrading to level 3 military base, not upgrading them to level 2. Because it's crucial to this strategy, because this is intermediate mode, and we are going to try to spend the least amount of cash possible, points possible. So you're just going to need to grind easy, which we're going to make a tutorial for. We're going to make a tutorial for Molten, we're going to make a tutorial for every single game mode, spending the least amount of money possible, okay? We are going to do it in a duo, but we will maybe have to change up my friend or a different friend, because my friend who doesn't have the best towers. Okay, anyways, wave 10, you should have 2 military bases level 3, and the third one getting prepared to be level 3. wave 11, you should have most of your military bases level 3 or 2, with at least one exception, which should so on wave 11 you should have one military base, which is level 1. Everything else should be level 2 or level 3. On wave 12 you should get all your military bases to level 3 except one. So now you should be upgrading your last military base to level 3. Also, on wave 11, player 2, which is my friend, got a scout maxed out at the beginning, which isn't useful. You should have probably stayed with the military bases. Now, after you get all your military bases to level 3, you will want to start placing scouts in this area and this area here, because they would have the highest reach possible. So you are going to place down 5 scouts level. You will place down 5 max level scouts, just so then you can deal with the odd anomalies of the enemies. I'm not using Golden Scout even though I own it, because that would cost an extra 50,000 points, so it's not worth it. On wave 14 you should have 5 maxed out military bases. You should have 5 level 3 military bases, and you should have a maxed out scout, and you should have a scout level 4, 2 scouts level 4. Then on wave 15, you are going to be placing down the third scout, max out. These scouts are only to deal with the enemies that your military bases may not be able to deal with. My friend sadly disconnected, so this video will have to carry on without him. On wave 15, you should have 3 maxed out scouts, getting ready to get down to 4. Wave 16 you should be prepared with most of your military bases being the level 3 and having at least 3 maxed out scouts. Remember, those criteria are not needed, but it would make wave 16 a lot easier to kill the living experiment. Also remember, everything I just mentioned should be done for both players, not just one. If you want to try solo this, go ahead. I'm not stopping you. It may work, it may not. Anyways, on wave 17, you should get ready to start getting tanks in, because your Humvees will not be doing enough now. And you need to be prepared, as tanks are really strong, and you want to get at least 1 or 2 railgun tanks by the end of the game. Wave 17 should be easy to destroy because it does not have any major bosses. Wave 18 you should be prepared for the speedy boss that comes out and not die to it with any HP. Going to the end of wave 18, you should have roughly 6,000 cash, or 7,000. On the start of wave 19, you should already have 1 tank ready. This method can be done solo if wanted, but you would need a lot more skill, and you will need to know how to migrate your towers really fast. So it is suggested to do this method in a duo, not a solo. Anyway, close to wave 20, you should be able to get a level. You should be able to get your second tank on your military bases spawning. It's not needed, but it should be happening on wave 20. You should have your second tank ready. On wave 20, you should have 2 military bases on level 4, summoning for tanks. Everything I do, those people should be doing the same. Because my friend disconnected, I cannot show you how it would look if there were 2 people here. Because he kind of disconnected. But everything I have here should be doubled here. Doesn't matter about the skins, remember that. All that matters is that you have the towers. Wave 20 would be a bit harder if you're doing it solo because you won't have any other help, but it should be manageable with your tanks, if you have them. On the end of wave 20, when killing the living experiment, you will be getting the 3rd military base of the tank. Then you'll be getting your 4th one on wave 21. You will not be needing to do anything with scouts until later on. Make sure there is an event at the time, please pick up the currency because you can get some free cool skins. And even some free coins to get better towers later on. On wave 21 you should get your 4th military base level 4. And on wave 22 you should get your 5th. On wave 22, halfway through with 20 seconds left, you should get your last military base maxed out. Although it may take you till wave 23 to get it, that does not really matter. Because you only have scouts and military base for this strategy, you will now be saving up to get your military bases maxed out. You will not be getting any scouts out until first. From wave 23 to 30, you will be trying to max out your military bases. On wave 30, depending how many military bases you have managed to max out, and how much money you have, you may have to sell your scouts. But you will not be selling your scouts until the final boss leaves the shooting range from the scouts. On wave 24 to 25, you get your first maxed out military base. That depends if you spend your money correctly. At the end of wave 24, you should be able to max out your first military base and have roughly 2,000 cash saved over. On wave 25, you should have at least one maxed out military base, but it is not required. There will be a good time to start saving your money and maxing out your military bases, because it would be hard to later on to deal with a spam of bosses. Like the spam of the walls and reefs that I have currently have. Also, we have 2 living experiments, and we had a failed experiment coming in. Make sure you have hidden detection on your scouts to deal with the necromancer skeletons. Ending with 25, going on with 26, you should have around 15,000 cash. And you would have to be prepared for the 2 nimble hidden bosses that were being rushed at. So make sure you at least have 1 railgun tank at all times for this. On the end of wave 26, you should be able to get your second railgun tank to start spawning. Remember guys, do not skip the wave because there is always a chance that you get some extra money during the wave. And also you do not want to be overwhelmed with too many enemies if you are only using tanks. Starting with 27, you should have around 10,000 cash. And by the end of wave 27, you should get your 3rd maxed out military base. It may get a bit tricky when you reach wave 27 to 28 because if you're doing this solo, because there may not be enough damage power or damage per second to be dealing with all these heavy enemies. So, and also at the beginning of wave 28 you should be able to get your 3rd maxed out military base. On beginning wave 28 you should have around 4,000 cash left over from upgrade. Make sure that you always have around 1,000 cash just in case you need to spam this sounds at the back, because it is always crucial to be able to spam this in case of a leak. We got down the scouts. On wave 30, you will be getting down some level 0 scouts, spamming them. Spend the boss, you can stall the boss, then it takes him longer to get farther because he will probably be using abilities to stun the scout. Hopefully he does not use his storm or any moves that can damage the railgun tanks because they are going to be your main source of DPS for this round. Closer to the end of wave 29, you should be able to max out your 4th military base, leaving 1 military base on the tank. You can also set your scout's target to the strongest, so then they can do some chip damage to the strongest enemies, so then your tanks do not have to spend so much time destroying the strongest enemies. But if you did have the farm and you decide to bring it with you, make sure you sell the farms, but it's not needed. If any enemies get close to the middle, you have all the right to bomb them with your airstrike from the military base. Just make sure you have enough money to still upgrade the final military base on this way. Once the boss spawns in, nuke him with every single one of your spare airstrikes. Also, use 2 airstrikes on the breakers that come in. Then you get away. When patient 0 goes past the first time, most of the enemies should be cleared out, and your airstrike should be soon ready to use them. When you just run slow on the floor, your scout will be stunned. Your scout would be stunned for about maximum amount. Before patient 0 reaches the 70, you should be able to max out the final military base. And then, when he reaches the 7th one, use all your airstrikes at once. You can now just start spamming scouts everywhere. Just so then you can make use of neat chip damage. And also, hopefully, stuns that will use abilities that cannot damage your house. Like that. Which made him stop for a couple of seconds, which made him some more time to spawn in stun on more railgun tanks. When your airstrikes are ready, make sure you keep on using them, because they do some decent damage to patient 0. Once he reaches the 4th run, he should be roughly at 40 to 30k HP, depending on if your teammate is disconnected or not, and if you did it solo or not. It is not ideal for him to shoot acid balls at your railgun tanks, but it may happen. You can also spawn in enemies, which isn't good. When he is halfway through going on the line on the 4th turn, he should be roughly at 20k HP. And also you should be able to use some more airstrikes. Then when he reaches the 5th turn, he should have like 5,000 HP left over, or suggest that he will be dying very short. As he had so little HP, my railgun tank got right over him. Anyways, that is the tutorial of how to be intermediate mode with this just military base and scout. See you next time.